Hey Tool Nuts, this is Doug from toolnut.com. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you're a subscriber. If not, please subscribe, make some comments, like it hopefully. Let us know. So today in this video, we're going to be going over how to mount the Prazi 12-inch beam cutter, the PR 7000. Let me make sure here. Yep, PR 7000 to the new Milwaukee rear-handled circ saw, cordless, which is model number 2830-20. That's the bare tool. They also make a kit. Let me first state this. This is very important. At this time, Prazi is not including the hardware so that it will fit this saw. This kit and the 8000 kit, okay, this is the 18-inch bar cutter. So you got 12 and 18-inch. This is the bigger seller, so we're going to do this one. At this time, Prazi is not including that hardware because Milwaukee used a different arbor nut or blade nut on theirs. Threading's different from the majority of the other brands. We're going to go over the installation on this. I've done other videos, so if you go back on our channel, the Tool Nut TV on YouTube here, and look at previous videos, I've done this for the DeWalt rear-handled cordless saw, the Flex Volt. I've also done it for the Makita. On just a review, it's basically similar ways to mount it. Every saw is a little bit different. As far as this goes though, there's a lot of different models that this will fit. All right, the biggest thing, it's for worm drives, and the blade has to be blade left, meaning when you hold the saw, blade is on the left-hand side. All right? Check compatibility before you do so. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so on the saw, we're going to remove the 3 screws here on the blade guard. All right, and for that, I'm using a T20 Torx. Remove the 3 screws. Make sure you retain all this hardware just in case you want to revert the saw back to its original, how you got it. All right. I'm going to take those 3 screws. I'm going to take the hardware out of the bag that we provided. Put that aside, and I'm going to start putting all the hardware we're removing for the Milwaukee saw. Comes off very easily. And then you also want to, I've already pre-loosened that. As you can see, I was able to spin it off my hand. I already used this saw with the regular blade on it, so it was already mounted. If you're just taking it out of the box, generally the blade is not going to be mounted to the saw. Also note, I've removed the battery. Very important. Make sure you're never working on a live tool. Okay. And put that aside, the outer nut, remove the bottom flange nut, and put the blade aside also, if you've already mounted that. Again, into my parts bag. Snap ring pliers, okay? So we're gonna remove this. So we have to, on this saw, like most others, you have to remove this blade guard. All right, ring into our bag of goodies again, so we're not losing them. Make sure you put it in a safe spot. All right, so there's a spring that goes through here. When I first did this, I actually removed this other bottom plate, so I thought I had to, but you don't. We're just gonna lift that off, pull it through there, release the tension of that. And then you could take like a small flathead to remove the spring. You just gotta kind of lift it up. It's set. There's a detent in here that's holding it in place. Very simple. Just pulls out again. Retain this. You don't want to get rid of that. Spring into the bag. So I have all my important parts in there. Actually, I'm going to have to take back out the 3 other screws to put that back on. This goes aside in a box, maybe with the blade so you don't lose it. All right, I've already extended our base plate right here. All right, that's the only way you're going to be able to get the bar into the unit. So again, here's the bar system that was in the box. Now, for some brands, Prazi provides this spacer in their box. For this saw, the Milwaukee saw, you're not going to need that. So we're going to put that back in there. Again, I've already removed the outer flange washer. That's going to work with the bolt for this saw from the Prazi bag. That comes in the Prazi bag. All right, so bottom plate is extended. I'm going to take the unit through like so, and you're going to mount it to the saw like that. All right, again, I'm going to put this is going to go right inside that piece right there. All right. When you get this, you want to make sure that this is going to be square, or I'm sorry, perpendicular to the base plate at a 90-degree angle. That way you're not going to get any chatter when you're making a cut with it. All right, so obviously you're not going to want it like that. You're going to want to set to a 90. I used, when I had this mounted prior, just to test to make sure that this would work on this unit, I took a rafter square and used it with that to set that. So that's going to be the biggest thing. Base, other piece here to make it square with the base. Okay, so this is what we're giving you in our bag. The bolts that are in the Prazi bag are a little too thick because Milwaukee, this is slightly thinner here on your depth bar. All right, so 2 carriage bolts. Take those back. The washers also, and then a lock nut. So get both of those on there first. This time, if you want to too, so this isn't moving on you, you can take that. Again, this is reverse thread. Thread that in. That way the bar isn't moving on you. Don't forget to snug that up later once we get everything lined up here. Now, I'm also going to point out something that I forgot to do during the setup, and that's to tighten these on the hinge. This, when it comes, is going to be loose before you put it on the saw. That way you can adjust it to sit flat on this, and once that's mounted. I didn't snug it up, so you can see here, I got a different colored one. I had to go to the local hardware store and buy another one. So make sure you snug those up once all these bolts are tightened down. I don't want to leave that out and forget that for later. All right. 1/2-inch wrench for your arbor. Depress the arbor lock. Tighten that up. Snug it up. Good. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. 1/2-inch wrench. For these are 7/16. And again, what we're going to want to do is take our square, on your base, and then you're going to adjust it until you got it square. With the base, I'm going to come back with our socket here. We're going to tighten these 2 carriage bolts and lock nuts. Don't snug them all the way. You're probably going to want to check to make sure that your bar hasn't moved from your base plate. before I do my final. Again, check that. Looks good. I go with the upper here. Like I said, I already preset this because I had already had this on there. Adjust it so that you're not going below this bottom plate here that comes on the Prazi head. You don't want that sticking below past your saw base. All right, so everything's square. I'm gonna do my final snug on these lock nuts and carriage bolts. So that's what holds this whole thing in place. We've already snugged up and made sure that this is tight on that. Always double check everything. And then again, don't forget those. That's what I did, and it rattled out while I was using it. It happens, but with something like this, safety first. We're mounted. As always, again, I know I mentioned it already, but you should always make sure that everything has been done. So we tighten those three, we tighten that, we tighten those two, and we also tighten this hinge also. Should be good to go. We're gonna throw a battery in it and we're gonna make some cuts with this. Again, everything I did here, you can do with the 18-inch model, the PR8000, if you wanna get another 6 inches of depth on the bar. This is the 12-inch, this is the more popular model. Always leave your back cutter on there. That's the other thing I wanna point out. So, there's no lubrication system for this because it is, I believe, a less RPM than a gas-powered saw. But with any chain saw, you do want some lubrication. So Prazi suggests every 10 to 15 cuts, spraying some silicone spray on that. That will help with the lubrication. And the other big thing is, with any chainsaw, the chains stretch. So that could happen within 5 minutes or 5 cuts, actually, I think it's stated in the instruction manual. So always check your tension on your chainsaw blade. All right, so we're gonna put the battery in this, put our safety glasses on, and we're gonna make some cuts. Always be safe. Quick work.
Camper chalk.
I tell you, the control is really good. Dude,
beautiful.
That thing is awesome.
Beautiful.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Thanks again for watching this video. Hopefully you're already a subscriber of ours on our YouTube channel, ToolNut TV. If not, please subscribe, make some comments, and hopefully like this and other videos that we've done. Thanks again for watching.